Hello again, my social work colleagues. Thank you so much for those who are subscribing to our channel and for those who signed up to our services. Keep the subscriptions coming in as I will be posting more videos on the need to know to pass the exam. So in this video, I will be reviewing Cluster C personality disorders. Now, Cluster C personality disorders are characterized as having anxious, fearful behaviors and emotions, and these disorders are avoidant, dependent, and obsessive-compulsive personality disorders. Now, according to the DSM-5, avoidant personality disorder is characterized by a pervasive pattern of social inhibition, feelings of inadequacy, and hypersensitivity to negative evaluation. Avoidant and schizoid are considered as loners, and the difference is that avoidant desire friendship, but schizoid is the opposite, does not want friendship. Though avoidant personality desire close relationship, they're very uncomfortable in social situation. They have poor social skills, tend to be timid, and will withdraw from relationship due to their fear of being judged, shamed, or ridiculed, may avoid social and also work activities. Because they avoid situations, they are seen as shy and loners, and they lack self-confidence. They're insecure, and as I said before, they have this extreme sensitivity to negative evaluations. The next cluster C disorder is dependent personality disorder. And according to the DSM-5, a person with dependent personality disorder often have a pervasive and excessive need to be taken care of. So because they have this extreme fear and anxiety of separation and to be alone, these individuals often becomes submissive and clingy that they're easily taken advantage of. They also lack self-confidence, and they're so dependent on others that they're uncomfortable being alone because of exaggerated fear of not being able to care for self. They're also at high risk of physical abuse by their partner because of their dependent personality. They will even remain in the unhealthy and abusive relationship because of their inability to be alone and extreme reliance on others. The next personality disorder is obsessive-compulsive personality disorder. According to the DSM-5, obsessive-compulsive personality disorder are preoccupied with orderliness, perfectionism. Now, these individuals are detail-oriented and have problems making decisions and completing tasks because of their desire for perfection. They are also excessively devoted to their job, so you may find them at the beach with a laptop or constantly on their phone doing job-related stuff, and also hardly finding time to spend with family and friends. Now, these are people that we call workaholic, and because of this, they have problems forming relationship. Now, they're also overly conscientious, inflexible, scrupulous about ethics, morals, and values, and they can find it difficult to throw away items even when they have no sentimental value. Overall, they have high expectations of themselves and is never pleased with their achievements. Now, keep in mind that obsessive-compulsive personality disorder, or we can say OCPD, is not the same thing as obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD. So what is the difference between obsessive-compulsive personality disorder and obsessive-compulsive disorder? Now, OCPD is a personality disorder, while OCD is not. A person with OCPD is what's called egocentric, and they have trouble seeing their own problems or behavior, and they don't want to change anything about themselves. They also do not have an obsessive and compulsive behavior, and instead, they more have a need for perfectionism, control, orderliness, details, and rules. So they believe that their way is the right way of doing things, and they will maintain their perfectionism to keep them at a high standard, even at expense of relationships. And a person with OCD is what we call ego dystonic. So they don't like what they're experiencing, right? They're very bothered by their feelings. And so their strict routine and repeating tasks over and over again is to reduce their feelings of anxiety, right? So they have an obsessive and compulsive behavior, right? Very repetitive, and you may find them repeatedly either washing their hands frequently, closing the doors, counting, and so on. Because they're so bothered by these repeated thoughts and behavior, they tend to seek treatment to reduce or to get rid of these thoughts and behaviors. Now, OCD is not considered a perfectionist. OCPD is considered a perfectionist. Now, let's take a look at our first question. Which of the following is true about people with avoidant personality disorder? A, preoccupied with orderliness. B, hypersensitive to rejection and negative feedback. C, have trouble starting projects and sticking to a job on their own. Or D, unrealistic fears of abandonment. And the answer is B, hypersensitive to rejection and negative feedback. So let's take a look at the answer choices, because whatever that you choose, you want to ensure that it is one of the symptoms of avoidant personality disorder. So answer choice A, preoccupied with orderliness, is related to a person with OCPD, while C and D, having trouble starting projects and sticking to a job on their own, as well as unrealistic fears of abandonment, is more for people with dependent personality disorder, right? So knowing and understanding cluster C personality disorder and their symptoms will help you to rule out and find your answer. So this is a recall type question. It requires you to remember the signs and symptoms of avoidant personality disorder. Now let's look at the next question. A social worker meets with a well-dressed client who is referred for mental health evaluation. The client has a full-time job and reports that she often volunteers at a local shelter. She brags that she's always on time at work and helps with cleaning the offices. The client began crying and states that her boss thinks that she needed too much guidance and reassurance. The client then informs the social worker that she recently got married and her husband can take care of her if she loses her job. The client states, "My husband tends to be controlling, but regardless, I love him. He does everything for me and I don't want to lose him." The client is most likely diagnosed with which of the following disorder? A, obsessive-compulsive disorder. B, obsessive-compulsive personality disorder. C, avoidant personality disorder. Or D, dependent personality disorder. Now go ahead and pause this video, read this case scenario again, and find your answer. And the answer is D, dependent personality disorder. Now, this is a very long and lengthy case scenario, and you want to be able to identify the symptoms within the case scenario of dependent personality disorder. So always on time at work and helps with cleaning the offices. What does this mean? Well, basically, she's trying to gain approval and secure favor, from the rest of the staff. Also, she needed too much guidance and reassurance, and her husband can take care of her if she loses her job. So she's dependent on her husband. Even though he's controlling, once again, they're at higher risk of being in an abusive relationship. Even though he's controlling, regardless, she still loves him because he does everything for her and she does not want to lose him. So, so that fear of losing him and having to take care of herself, she doesn't want. So she'll risk anything to stay in that relationship. Now for a final question. A social worker meets with a man who describes himself as a workaholic and perfectionist. The man reports that he does not know why he is in treatment when there is nothing wrong with him. The man states, "This is taking up too much of my time. I have a long list of tasks to accomplish, and I don't trust my colleague to complete them." The client informs the social worker that he has no social life at all, as people often gets in the way. The client is most likely diagnosed with which of the following disorder? A, opposition-compulsive personality disorder. B, dependent personality disorder. C, narcissistic personality disorder. Or D, obsessive-compulsive disorder. Okay, go ahead and pause this video and choose your answer. And yes, the answer is A, obsessive-compulsive personality disorder. So we're seeing keywords here that are symptoms of a person with personality disorders, such as workaholic and perfectionist. And here the man is reporting that he does not know why he's in treatment when there is nothing wrong with him. So this is called egocentric, and I spoke about that earlier, right? Then he stated, "This is taking up too much of my time. I have a long list of tasks to accomplish, and I don't trust my colleague to complete tasks. So they often prefer doing the task alone because it's either their way, and their way is the right way, right? No social life at all. So they tend to have little to no friends at all, difficulty maintaining or even having a relationship with others because they're so focused on work and being perfect. Once again, thank you for watching, and please continue subscribing to get more videos on the need to know to pass the social work exam. Have a great day.